Okay, welcome to the Hawk Hunter Flight Simulator on the ground at RAF Chivener, and we're just going to do a little bit of a Nav Aids to show you the navigation capabilities of the flight sim. So what we'll do is we'll throttle up and we'll get going. Okay, so for about 150 knots we'll pull back on the stick. So we'll pull back, parking brake on, and gear up. 3 reds, and the gear's up. So at the moment we've got Nav 1 set to 111.6, which is the DME beacon, so distance measuring equipment beacon at RAF Chivener. So you can see down here we have 111.6 to the top left hand, and that's the nav frequency. And if we have a look here, this is the nautical miles, or the DME gauge. And you can see the DME gauge here, the needle is currently at very little, and as we increase distance from Chivener, you'll see the needle creep up the scale, which it's starting to do. Let's just make a bit of distance, and you can see all the time the distance is increasing as we're flying away from RAF Chivener. So I think what we'll do next is we'll head off to Filton. So Filton is 110.55. So we'll change the frequency now. So 110.55. And at the moment the nav instrument is showing that the ILS beacon at Filton is out of range, which is why we've got no direction and no distance. So we'll try and get a bit closer and see what happens then. So join me shortly when we get a bit closer to Filton. So for now we'll just fly up the Bristol Channel and burn some fuel. We're still out of range of the Bristol ILS, but what we probably can do is we can call up the DME, so distance measuring equipment beacon at St Athan, which will give us a clue of the range. So we know that St Athan DME is 114.8. So 114.8. And the needle's just moved to say that we're approximately 30 miles. So you can see the needle's just above the where the 3 should be, and 1 times 10 scale, so we know that St Athan's 30 miles. So if we keep heading in this direction, we should see that range decrease as we get closer to St Athan. And have a look out the window at the same time just to prove a point. So we're just over 20 miles from St Athan. So I think what we'll try and do now is maybe we'll call up Cardiff ILS. They'll give us a range and hopefully a heading. So we know Cardiff is 110.7. So 110.7. And lo and behold, we now have direction and range for Cardiff. So you can see the bottom needle gives you an idea of direction. So we'll just start turning off course. And you can see the needle's now moving away from the centre to tell us we're actually heading in the wrong direction for the airport, so for the ILS beacon. So what we'll do is we'll turn back, and as we turn back and come back onto the heading, you should see the needle start to move back, telling us we're back heading towards the ILS beacon. and you can see the range is now down to about 6 or 7 miles, and we're pretty much bow on the beacon. So what we'll do next is we'll overfly Cardiff, and you'll see what happens when we overfly the beacon. So there's the airfield. And as we start to overfly the beacon, you'll see the direction needle starts to disappear out of sight. So there we go. We've overflown the beacon. So what we'll do now is we'll set a course for Bristol, and we know again that Filton is 110.55. 110.55, and we have a course to steer, and we're about 20 miles away. We're just over 20 miles. So we've come back onto course, so we're following the needle now. And we're roughly pointing towards the airfield. Whoops, just gone past. And we're about 20 miles out. So they're heading out, and there's still about 15 miles to go, or 10 miles. See Bristol docks over on the left. Heading's not quite right. See, and we've come to the far end of the runway. So we're lined up, and you can see Filton's just down here. So we're lined up on the far end of the runway. Or at least we managed to find Filton. So what we'll do now is we'll head back to Chivenor, and we'll land at Chivenor. So Chivenor doesn't have ILS, Chivenor just has DME, so we'll put the frequency in for Chivenor DME, which is 111.6. And it's telling us now we're 60 miles away from Chivenor. You can see the needle's now gone up to 6. So whilst we're here, we'll have a bit of a play under the suspension bridge. Say hello to the cars. We're now heading back towards North Devon. Just hope no one got our number. In fact, just to shorten the length of the video, what we'll do is we'll just divert to St Athan, because we know that's even closer. So St Athan is 114.8. One 114.8, and the needle says we're about 20 miles from St Athan. And this is interesting, which is just a good call really to divert to St Athan, because we've just got fuel warning light just come on to tell us we've got 25% fuel left in the port tank. But we can see St Athan on the horizon. So we'll slow down a bit. Put the air brake out. Just a little white mag end. Try and lose some airspeed, which we are. Two notches of flat, and we'll put the gear down so the air brake retracts. Three greens, gears down. Cardiff Airport, so let's bang in here anyway. Just to prove a point, it is Cardiff Airport. We'll put frequency in for Cardiff. 110.7. 110.7, and we're pretty much bang on for direction, and distance is next to nothing, which looks about right. Go a bit high. Someone on the taxiway. Hopefully air traffic has told him to give us a break. Full flaps, slow us down a bit. And we're down. So flaps up, flap gauge is moving, and we'll go and taxi and have a look at some airliners. That's probably close enough, so we'll shut down. As the engine dies. So I hope you enjoyed the explanation of the Nav Aids that we have in the Hunter Flight Sim, and all being well, we'll see you soon.